Hello, good morning. You're watching QTV this morning. Welcome back after that weekend break. We are back again and, starting a new week, fresh vibes. No bad energy this week. I mean, positive energy. That's all we want. And I am with Julia Njai. Julia, I'm pretty sure you don't want bad energy too.
No bad.
If your energy is bad, please, kilometers away from
so
us.
So please, Babuka Sisi, stay away from me. Because all you carry is negative energy.
Negative energy.
Good morning, Ibrahim. Yes, good morning to our viewers and to Mr. Ade.
Yeah, so Mr. Adedrame, good morning.
As the Jamaicans would say, strictly good vibes we are deal with.
Absolutely.
Strictly good vibes.
That's Patwa.
So, yeah.
Mr. Ade, you are wearing indigo. I mean, that's indigo, not black, actually. The color is indigo.
Indeed.
Yeah, you need to know colors.
One does, yes. Were you a tailor in a previous profession?
Well, I learned about colors during our arts and craft days in school.
Ah, those days.
Yes. So it's good to be back, and we'll take a look at the African code. I told Francis, next program I'm not carrying paper. We have tablets, for God's sake. We'll use our tablets.
Yep.
In fact, QTV tablets, they all got legs recently.
No,
nobody can see even a single tablet.
No, one of them is in my drawer and it's been there for months.
Well, I think next program we need to use a tablet.
You can use your tablets, yes.
Yes.
And we don't mean the one that you take in your mouth.
Not tablet, not pills. Yes, so we are back and we'll take a look at the African code. From the code and the newspaper review with Mr. Dedrame. Reparations Commission resumed medical board services for victims. And we'll be talking to the team. And of course, Federation of Labor Unions launched. Oh, wow, that would be interesting. We'll take a look at that.
It's an umbrella body. And quite a lot of major unions are part of it. Yeah.
I am really anxious to know what they will talk about, the functions of this union. Yes.
Collective bargaining, all that sort of thing.
So we'll delve into the proverb. A great thing, a small bridge that carries heavy hearts.
Is a small bridge.
I
wish I knew what this means. I read it this morning and I thought, huh? Eh?
A greeting is a small bridge that carries heavy hearts.
that was my. I have no clue what it means, and I'm sure there's something missing in translation. I'm sure it's been translated from some language to English.
A greeting is a small bridge that carries heavy hearts.
Greeting.
What is a heavy heart? Let's try to. Okay, let's try to.
Heavy heart.
Yes, let's try to break down into pieces. What is heavy heart?
So a heavy heart is if you are sad about something. Yes. So a greeting might be something that lifts your spirit, possibly, if you are, you're sort of heavy-hearted. But heavy heart means you're downcast, you're somber, you might have been upset about something, but you're sad about something, and you're a bit down in your mood. So maybe a greeting. Good morning, Balde,
It can spice up your day.
Good morning, Mr. Balde,
well,
as they probably call it in England.
Do you know, it's not all the people that we think they are intelligent that are intelligent sometimes. Some people, they look intelligent, but they are not intelligent. Well, some people might look not intelligent, but they are very smart.
This is true. Looks can be deceiving.
It reminds me of my high school days when I first went to grade 10, and I saw this radical guy, with a lot of hair, too rough hair. I realized this guy is just, in fact, this guy, that's how he behaves.
Right.
But the guy is very
intelligent.
Very smart.
That's it. Yes. Looks. They always say don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
So don't be misled. But I mean, this one, a greeting is a small bridge that carries heavy hearts. I'm not sure about carries heavy heart. It might lift the load from somebody who's, particularly if it's a very warm greeting. So
that carries heavy hearts. Yes.
Maybe if they said a warm greeting, then but just a greeting is just a greeting. Because if I just met you and I said hello, that's still a greeting, but it's not particularly warm, is it?
But there is a sense of concern there. At least that hello can, spark something in your heart.
It depends on how my hello is. Hello is more than just hello.
Hello is hello, Mr. Ade.
Hey, I'm just giving you. I'm just giving you two.
Said hello.
I'm just giving you two.
Hello.
You know, that's
it's all hello. Hello is hello.
It
Tone.
has a potential
Tone
to change
is
something. Yeah,
important.
the tone is very important.
Yeah.
But greeting has a potential, because if you greet me, you're concerned, or you care about me, or you acknowledge that I am there.
Acknowledge your presence.
Yeah, you acknowledge
Exactly.
my presence.
Right.
So that means a lot. But if I just come here and not say a word to you and not say a word to, but like, okay, what is going on? You'll be careful.
Then my heavy heart will not be carried. I don't know where you're carrying it to. It says it's a small bridge
Yeah, so
that
small
carries.
gestures, small kindness.
I think they mean lifts.
Yes.
Instead of carries. That's why I said I think something's missing in translation.
Yes,
so they've
yeah.
translated it because to lift also is to carry something.
Right.
But if you say you lift heavy hearts, then that's different. Then that makes sense in a way. You know, to lift a heavy heart is to kind of lift the burden, lift the weight that is on that. But to carry it literally means also just to. Well, if it was lift that was meant to be there, then yes. So whoever translated it from tree or whatever it was originally, they kind of used.
Change the carry to lift.
Well, that's right. Yeah, because in many languages you can use several words to mean the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Julia, or would you like to add some?
Well, would you like to add?
Just small, gestures, kindness. Even a smile can make a difference.
Yeah.
In Islam, we say even a smile is an act of charity. So yes.
Yeah. So that is it. We are all trying to interpret the same thing.
But don't think you can replace your zakat with a smile.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, that's also true. It can add to the zakat, but it cannot replace
it. Can't replace it.
But how about if you don't have alms that you are supposed to give out?
Well,
then
if you don't, you don't.
You don't.
You don't have it, you don't have it.
Yes. So that is it. Viewers, will take a short break. After the break, we'll take a look at the newspaper review. This is QTV This Morning. And if you're just tuning in, we are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back. Let's dig into some of the papers on some of the newspapers. Julia, do you have? I can see you are solving.
I think there's one place you have to start.
Yes.
And Foria.
Foria newspaper.
Yes, because it's a story that's lawmaker Yaya Menteng Sanyang arrested over alleged voter registration fraud. I think it's important to say that he was in fact brought in for question and released without charge. Because if people read this headline, they'll think, oh, is he detained, etc., because they can't see the story behind the headline. So the facts are that it was alleged that he had helped 3 underage people try to, and the alleged fake birth certificates were embarrassing because they had obviously been written by the same person. The people were supposedly born at different times. And yet the birth registration documents were in sequential numbers, meaning they were issued one after the other.
One after the other.
One after the other. What is the likelihood of people born in different months or different years getting sequential birth? It was such a stupid attempt at fraud. That's what he was called.
So you see, I mentioned at the beginning of the program, there are people that look intelligent.
Yes.
But they are not.
Yes, and whoever tried to perpetrate that particular fraud. And what's interesting about this is that he's not a member of, I think he's an independent, isn't he? But he says he's UMC, which isn't a political party yet, but we suspect they'll register before the election. And so they've issued a statement saying, yes, injustice, one place is an injustice everywhere. Yeah. But he was released without charge. But what it does is that those allegations about voter fraud attempts will be thrown at every party. So because we used to think, only one party were always accused of it, and I always said that was a nonsense. But like I said, he was released without charge, so we have to make that point. Yeah.
Surprisingly, it even started because was it on Friday or on Saturday? you know, pictures emerge online where we've seen the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, CDSK. We've seen him at the police station allegedly for.
And he's here
water.
on the Observer.
Yes, the same allegations.
Yes. So
for Tanje.
Yes, Tanje. So this is what happens in a country where you don't have proper birth certificate records.
No.
It's open to fraud. I mean, look, we got independence in 1965. How the hell is anybody who was born between 1965 and now not having a birth certificate? I mean, that's just pathetic. My father was born here in 1921. I can find his birth certificate in the Gambia. And yet somebody born after independence, we can't find their birth certificate? It's pathetic.
It is.
And it just shows you
It's
how
the
useless
right.
we can be when it comes to maintaining records and so on. That's why all this fraud happens.
Fraud is happening. Yeah,
it's just laziness.
You're really right about that, because if someone is born in a hospital,
come on,
there is
Obviously.
no excuse, you know, for not giving that person a birth certificate.
I remember when I went to Hasum Sise and I said, help me find my father's birth certificate. He said, what year was he born? I said 1921. He said, oh, we'll have no problem finding that. He said, well, if you ask me for somebody born after 1965, I'll struggle to find it.
Can you?
And then he said to me, you know what happened after 1965? I said, yeah, we got independence. I mean, come on. Like what? These people left and then we suddenly can't maintain something like birth certificate? There are people in our office who don't know their real dates of birth.
What do you think is the problem?
Right.
You know, is it the people that then people keep record better than now? I mean,
What is keeping records is not rocket science, right? I could go to the British London Gazette. I can find records from 1666. 1666 written records, paper records. And I can find stuff from 1965, 1970, 1980.
So you can see what is really dragging most African countries behind, because there is nothing like a good system, and there is no discipline. When
they
it
left
comes
the
to
system, we didn't maintain it, and that's the conversation I had with Hasum. And you can bring him here and you can speak about it, because I think it's an important point, you know. But he and I had that conversation, and he said, yeah, he said they left a very good system, they left, and we just abandoned it. And you know, this is a country where, unlike many countries, you know, in some Europe, for example, in UK, you don't need to have an ID. But people here need a national ID. And yet we have something that's so important as a national ID, and people's dates of birth and complete fiction that's on there. They don't actually know when they were born, including some people in our office who have those. They don't know their real dates of birth. It's just a made-up one just so that they can get the document. Come on.
Yeah, so
we can't even handle that. And that's why we have this kind of fraud over birth certificates. You go and get attestation and like, please, in 2026?
Yeah.
There should be a system. There should be a system. I mean, I don't think you know, we should have those kind of problems. As far as at the initial stage, there was
as tiny as Gambia,
proper record keeping. I mean,
in fact, they launched a system, the digital birth certificates. Yeah. I mean, I thought
so for now,
that would serve.
No, but that's for people born in the last year or two. It's not going to, you know, help people who were born 15, 20 years ago. No. It's for those who were born within, you know, since the system was launched. It's not retroactive. It doesn't go and register, you know, births of people
I
who
have
were
a
born
question.
18
What
years
is that
ago.
chip on our ECOWAS ID for? I've never seen people using that chip.
I have no idea. I don't have an ECOWAS ID.
Why do we have that chip there? Is it only to make it look good, to make it sophisticated?
No, most of those chips are there because if you put it in a computer, it should hold all the information about that person. You know, and it will be unique to each person. So, you know, your chip will be different. You know, the information contained in the chip will be different. But you've never had a chance to prove it. That's
who
why
will tell you I've
asking.
used my ID card inside a computer and it showed me all my information? I don't think someone have ever done that.
No, that's not what it would do. I mean, you would have to have specific equipment that could read that. So equipment at a border, for example, if I tried to cross the border with your ID, but the chip had all your information, they say, no, you're not Ibrahim Abalde, you don't even look like him. Your picture should come up, everything should come up based on what is contained in that chip. So yeah, that's what it's for.
So on the Standard newspaper, Sepras, most Gambians prefer reconciliation over prosecuting Jammeh-era crimes. Most.
Interesting.
How in fact did they land to that conclusion?
They surveyed 1,245 people.
Right.
That's not most Gambians. They should say most Gambians we surveyed said that. But that's what people do when they do surveys. They kind of extrapolate, because surveys are meant to be representative. So you're meant to extend it, saying, okay, if we asked 1 million people based on, you know, the sort of demographics of the people we spoke to, and that's why you have that headline. But they didn't speak to most Gambians because that would be difficult to do. But in the survey, you know, most of the people they surveyed, you know, you should always have that caveat, that kind of thing. Oh, by the way, we spoke to. So people always ask how many people were surveyed, how many people are asked. So in this instance, it was 1,245 people, and most of them said. And some of them talked about reconciliation. Some of them talked about the money that would be spent on prosecution would be better spent on other things, including victims' reparations and so on. So the return of maslaha to the human rights field. Yeah, but yes. Any others?
So Julde, do you have anything? Okay, so
yeah.
let's move on. We still have Councillor Jatta denies mobilizing non-Gambians from Sierra Leone for voter registration. So here throughout election,
let me snore this one.
We'll just be hearing on voters registration issues. I mean, these are the...
you know, everybody's going to be throwing these allegations at each other, and whoever loses the election is going to whine and make a noise about, you know, voter registration fraud and how people from Mars were registered and all kinds of stuff. You know, yeah, it's crazy, but it's where we are, you know. And the only reason we have this, as I keep saying, is because the system is so easy to manipulate. You know, you can tweak it here and there because we don't have proper records. You know, how else would you be getting people allegedly from Guinea-Bissau, from Senegal, from Sierra Leone, as I said, even probably from Mars registering? So, hey, you know, but we'll carry on with this nonsense for as long as we have.
So, I mean, most people talk about, okay, how digitalization will snatch our jobs from us at the end of the time, how the system is going to change. Most people would be jobless at the end of the time. Yes, but now the Commissioner General, I mean, Custom, is saying digitalization will not kill jobs.
He's not being honest or realistic. Let me give you an example. And I mentioned when I went to England last year how I'd only been away for 6 or 8 months before my from my previous visit, and I suddenly noticed in my local town, Bromley, lots of shops had signs saying, "We no longer take cash." Okay. When I walked into my own bank, which was Lloyd's Bank, instead of having 5 tellers, they had 1. Everything else was digital. You just tap your card. You didn't even have to put it in the machine. And the reason they had 1 teller was because some people insisted they wanted to speak to somebody to explain something. And then I checked all the other banks, and it was the same. Many of them had removed the bank tellers, and they had 1 or 2, where they used to have 5, 6, 7.
Now you can do it for yourself.
It's a fact. I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. Whoever said that, but
yes. And do you know it will come here? In fact, I've heard there is a bank that even started it. You know, when I was in Istanbul sometime last year, I went with a friend to the ATM where he would have to deposit the cash there.
Cash, yeah.
You don't need to go to the bank to deposit
that's
anymore.
been
Yeah,
in England for
So
10, 15 years.
It's coming to the Gambia. There's
Yeah.
a bank that adopted that system. So as time goes on, you would even need to go inside the bank for tellers to attend to you.
That's it. And as I said, in England, that's very, and it's been that way for about 15 years now. It's just getting, you know, so more and more people are losing their jobs. It's inevitable. There will be other jobs that you can find in the kind of digital space, but you have to be trained to do those jobs. And so it could create some jobs, but in some industries and in some sectors, jobs will be lost. That's inevitable. And anybody who says the opposite is just living in a fantasy land. Yeah.
So there's on the Observer 24, on the top, I mean, we have Star TV radio reporter Baikor laid to rest. I mean, it happened last week when he suddenly fell at work, and they took him to the hospital and they pronounced him dead. I mean, that was really devastating.
It was.
I mean, he's known to many of our colleagues quite intimately.
Yeah,
so
in fact,
they were very upset.
You know, when things happen, you start going through the records again. So when I was watching some of his videos, there was an interview, there was a press conference with the Gambian coach.
Yeah.
What's his name again? I can't pronounce it.
John McKinstry.
Yes.
McKinstry.
So
yes.
he was the one that said to the coach, I mean, it's like you failed. There's nothing that, I mean, you cannot even qualify the Gambia. So I watched that interview, that press conference before he passed. So I realized it was him.
And I think he'd also attended a press conference the day before. Yes. So it was a shock to many.
The Makati Square.
That's right. Yes, that's right. For the
it was a sudden death.
So it will tell you how death can be just a whisk away from you.
Exactly.
So sometimes you never know.
He was a nice person, so kind. If you meet with him at Coverage, he always like cater for food for people. Normally he will go like just like Cher will do. You know, when there is food, he will always go and then help reporters with food. People like me. We are shy to go and queue for food. So he will normally go, you are not eating? He said, no, the queue is long. Don't worry, I will bring it for you. So he was that kind. He was that nice. Yeah, I really felt it. For me, when it was first announced on the page, I think it was Jacqueline who announced it, said Baikor. Because I normally call him brother.
That's right. You
so
said you didn't know that it was the same person that you knew so well.
Like, Bai, who is this Bai? Until when I saw the picture and I was like, what?
Wow.
No, this can't be.
So government awards 30 scholarships. I mean, Minister Gomez on the paper.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll have to go and look at our story, because our story said 29. So I thought it was an odd figure when the reporter filed the story. I thought 29. Why not just round it up to 30?
Somewhere, even online.
Yeah, I saw online, but our story, so I had to say, said 29.
So that needs verification.
It was 30.
All the time.
Right. And they were in you know, areas like Tangier and so on, Tujereng and so on. Yes, Fonyi as well. Yeah.
All right, so we still move on.
Do you want to take the one bottom left, Foroya, which kind of goes back to what we were saying just now?
Let's go ahead.
Humanoid robots beat human runners in Beijing race. I saw that on CGTN.
Wow.
They had humans running against robots, but the robots are not going to get tired, are they, unless they run out of oil or whatever. You know,
That's
so
interesting.
they're likely to
I was thinking robots are slow.
No. You can program them to be faster, obviously.
To be faster.
Yeah, of course. Any speed.
I think they cannot be Gao guy.
Gout.
Gout guy. Yeah. So I mean, Mr. Adedrame, it's few months to election. You will see a lot of scandals as far as the election is approaching.
There will be scandals. There will be allegations. It's kind of become the norm globally. It's not just a Gambian thing. You know, I mean, Trump is still insisting that he won the election he lost, you know, and he's still trying to find the evidence. And then, you know, we had Denis Sassou Nguesso elected with 94.8% of the vote in Congo, Republic of Congo. And people were, wow, you know, 5th term, look at the, but then you realize all the opposition parties boycotted the election. So it was meaningless, you know, that kind of percentage. It means just his people voted, and he didn't even get 100%, even though, you know, the opposition boycotted the thing. So
it's kind of reminding me of the situation in Tanzania, where all the main oppositions were captured and put to
put in prison or banned.
Yes, so
banned, and even in Guinea Conakry, Mamadi Doumbouya, he banned the 10 biggest political parties. So again, his presidency is kind of slightly tainted by the fact that these, they find all sorts of weird reasons, because I watched on RTG, they were sort of trying to, you know, the national broadcaster, they were trying to justify why these parties were banned and so on. And then they had these nothing parties, they gave them 5 minutes each in the week running up to the election to come and appeal to the voters.
Thank you, Mr. Ade.
Was it
Thank
necessary for him to
Yeah, so we've
He didn't
exhausted
go.
the time for the newspaper review. We'll take a short break, and after the break, the program continues. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde, and I am with Julden Jai. Now let's move on. Let's take a look at Reparation Commission's resumes medical board services for victims. And we have Dr. Babanding Dafe, Commissioner and Chairperson Rehabilitation Committee, and Esa Koka, Executive Secretary Rehabilitations Committee. Gentlemen, it's good to have you on the program. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how are you feeling this morning?
Oh, bright and good.
Good.
Great.
So let's first take a look at the committee. Let's first delve into the functions of the committee before we go deep into this conversation. Mr. Dafe.
The Reparation
Commission.
Reparation Commission.
Yes.
The commissions, if you could recall, was sworn in April 2025 by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, President Adam Barrow. And then from that very day, the commission started its work according to the Act. What our mandate is to provide reparation to the victims from 1994 to 2016, 17. And that our process have started, and then also along with other services like the medical services provided to the victims, and also the victim engagement, and then the community engagement that has been ongoing on. Of course, it also goes with certain activities like look at some of the documents that we work with. Those also have to be drafted and also validated and become operational. So it is a whole lot process. And if you could recall also, the reparation proper has also started. Some victims have already received their compensation. That was, it is initially started by the TRRC, and we continued with those also that has a balance. And this started in earnest and also is ongoing. We started from 1994 victims, 95 and 96 victims.
So right now, what really informed the decision to resume medical services for victims at this time?
Thank you. I think it's important to just give an overview of the mandate of the Reparations Commission.
Right.
We have 3 main components. I mean, when you talk about reparations, we have one, we call it compensation. This is where we provide like financial support basically. And we have restitution. The restitution basically is trying to set back victims prior to their victimization basically, where they were at. And also the third is then the rehabilitation. The rehabilitation focuses more on like the health related issues, and that is where the medical board falls. Yes.
All right. We'd like to understand what type of conditions is the medical board looking at?
Yes, I think first of all you have to be recognized that you are a victim, and so far you are a victim, and then up to the tenure of this commission from April 2025 to 5 years, going to be 4 years, and then 5 years for the chairman. If you are a victim recognized, any medical condition that you have, you may be treated before But during this period or before the commission's mandate expires, you commit any conditions, we will, medical board have a right to attend to you. It doesn't matter which conditions.
Okay.
But also look at other chronic conditions these victims normally had due to the violations. Also seriously look into. And then, you know, the treatment may not be only one day. It can be ongoing. It can be on and off. Sometimes they can have an episode of attack, which means they can be seen multiple times. And the medication may be given or may not be given.
So are there any measures in place to ensure that the entire selection process is fair and transparent?
For the victims before the medical
yes.
board.
Yes.
Yes, so it's so long you have a complaint, the board is a well chosen composition. In fact, it was not chosen by us, it was then the post-RRC unit of the Ministry of Justice of the Gambia, and then the fund was allocated to Edward Francis, 9 million, to look into the welfare of the victims. And then that was ongoing until we came in, and then we felt that there's a need for us to take over and monitor well how the funds are used, and also so that the victim can have access to the service as soon as possible. Because we realize along the line there are some challenges in terms of how the medications are bought and also some of the impress given to them. There is some delay. That is another institution we don't want to dwell into why those things happen. But we realize these are challenges. We felt that if it is under the reparations, those issues will be adequately addressed.
So 9 million was allocated.
Yes, yes.
So far, how many victims benefited from
Yes,
this
so I
9?
think they saw it's over 1,000 victims, something like 1,009 victims were seen. So 4 of them were recommended for overseas treatment. I think few went, but that they were still having issues. And I think those are still pending for them to go. But you know, the money that was given cannot take care of the overseas treatment. And that has to be dealt with another separate money, because that is very expensive.
So what were some of the issues that you guys encountered?
With the medical board.
Yes.
Yes, I think the major issue with those going to the medical board is having medications. Medications, yes. Those were challenging. And also I had sometimes also the board sitting allowance were not coming, so there are some delays. But primarily medication was an issue for some of the victims getting access to it.
So, Mr. Coker, what assurances will you give to the victims? Because these victims waited for years for this, you know, the reparation to really happen. What assurances will you give them that there won't be any delays moving forward? Is there a system in place to ensure that it moves smoothly?
Yeah, well, certainly there is a system in place, but you know, I mean, it is all dependent on the funding mechanism, you know, because when you talk about reparation, funding is key, you know, but then we have guidelines. We are also guided by, I mean, the Act, and we really follow a very rigorous process to ensure that it is transparent and, you know, there wouldn't be any bias in the process. And the decision making, I mean, is taken by stages. It's not just like an individual to make a decision. You know, I mean, coming to the medical board, I mean, the mechanism we have in place is that, like, we have a victim support officer at the secretariat who is contacted by the victims, and she will do the initial screening just to do a primary assessment. That's where she also engages with the rehabilitation team led by Dr. Dafe. And if there is need for a victim to see the medical board, they will set up an appointment. And you know, the board sits on a weekly basis on every Wednesday. So like this comprises of a pool of doctors at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul. So I mean, the list that is kind of gathered, it is just communicated to the board, and then, you know, we have a victim support officer who basically escorts, try to facilitate movement of the victims, and then take them to the board for them to be, examined critically by, you know, the board, and if they will also advise whatever is required, whether they should further, examination or provide prescription, all will be basically bound by the commission. We take care of the bills.
So what is the process to enable these victims to access medication? Hope it's not a rigorous one, because these are victims that have undergone trauma.
Sometimes they cannot have the patient.
Exactly.
No, that's the reason why at least we provided an escort. Like this is the person that really guides them, like who lead them to the board upon being reviewed, and whatever is required provided by the board, say whether you need further testing or so, this person accompanies you. Or if at all they provide the prescription, he will also facilitate to ensure that we secure the medication from, we have pharmacies that we have engaged through MOUs, whereby they can present the prescription, of course signed and stamped by the chairperson of the board, and these respective pharmacies will dispense the medication and then invoice us. And we will then process the payment for them.
Yeah.
We try as much as possible to make it very easy.
Okay.
Yes. So, Mr. Daffy,
I think in addition to that, we did that because we realized that Edward Francis may not have all the medication that the victim may need. And that's why that MOU was signed between some of the pharmacists who believe that they may have the medication. So if the medical board meet and believe that you need this medication and it's not available at Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, obviously those pharmacies that we have an MOU with will definitely provide those medication with the prescription that we have.
Yeah. So now, I mean, should in case a victim is with a severe condition, is there a process where the person will be sent for international treatment?
Yes, I said it by right. Every victim that has a condition that cannot be treated here should go for overseas treatment. When we inherited, I think there were 4 on the list. One already secured a hospital in Germany but could not go. There were some issues. We followed it up, but it was difficult. It's still ongoing. I got the latest news that they've retrieved the money back from Germany, and that the process will also go. They're looking for another hospital. So that is ongoing. But the mandate of the commission and also the medical board is to facilitate. If you believe that any victim cannot be treated in this country, that medical report should be provided. The conditions for it to be, the commission will look into it and also engage the government for that person to be evacuated.
Is there any partnership, I mean, with international organizations to make this thing smooth and easier?
Well, we did not have any partnership per se with, when the commission come with any hospital with this. I think that would have been also another good thing to do, but I think all what we rely on is that the medical board provide, and then we approach the government for those things to be provided.
So overall, how will this initiative contribute to national healing and reconciliation, which has been a topic of discussion for years?
Yes, so I think we need to understand. Esa made mention about the 3 forms of reparations.
Right.
They may all happen, but like even if your monetary compensation happen and health-wise you are not okay, you still continue with your problem. So that's why we believe that health is fundamental. For me, I believe that if you get health, you may be able to do something for yourself. And to regain that health, I think that should be a priority. Of course, the monetary compensation and restitution will also happen to the victims.
So this $9 million, when will it phase out?
So SISA is the executive secretary. Maybe he may elaborate more on that one, because they deal with the finances and other things.
Actually, it was 8 million.
8 million, okay.
Oh, it's 8 million instead of 9.
Yes, because the board was established by the Minister of Justice together with Minister of Health, under the supervision of the referral hospital. So at least when we came back, that was the reason why at some point it got halted. There was a break because of the transition for it to come under the commission. So it's now under the Reparations Commission, and the funds have been handed over. But mind you, some of the funds were already consumed. because
prior to the
yes
setting up of the medical board.
No, prior to the transfer to the reparations commission, because the board was functioning. So as a result, a bit of the funds were consumed, but not much, and then the balance was transferred to us. So the resumption came on board last month. They resumed activities of the board last month. So they sit weekly, every Wednesday. So that's basically the approach we take. They sit on a weekly basis.
And also, in addition to that, when we took over also the commission, we look at, they have also some of the documents that they work with, like the TOR and the standard operating procedures. All these also need to be looked into. We make sure that they are okay, so that the victims get the service. So the commission also engage other partners to look into these SOPs and also their time of reference, make sure that they work well and to the needs of the victims.
So the reparations targets victims from 1994 to 2017.
Yes.
So how do you go about the selection? Do you start with the victims like in a chronological order, or do you give assistance to those that need it most? How do you go about prioritizing this victim in
on a first come first serve basis?
Is it the payment, or you are talking about medical board?
The medical
board. If you have a complaint, there's a victim support officer. You must already before the board came into our to the commission. They have a secretary and then the pool of doctors that the post-ARS unit, they will call with the IVLO, that the all victim-led organization. So they will make arrangement. The victim will go to Edward Francis for the treatment. So it's the same thing. We have a victim support officer, and then we also have a secretary to the board. So they facilitate it. If we have a complaint, and this sensitization continue up to the 5 years. If any victim has any issue, you report, and then your complaint will be lodged, and then also they will make arrangement for you at the medical board, if for you to be seen. We don't discriminate. So long you have it's medical board to decide. We have checked you, but we believe that your condition is okay. It does not need any other further treatment.
Is there a situation where other victims will not like to come to the commission or the medical board because of their situation?
Yes, I think that we had that challenge when we met the medical board to know what are their constraints, what are the challenges. And we realized that some of the victims, because they don't have a female composition like gynecologists, some women may not want to, a victim may not want to disclose. So we also
have only men.
So we wrote, now it has a composition of a female
gynecologist,
so that we can, because it's a well-diverse composition. Gynecologists, you have the orthopedics, you have the neurosurgeon, you have the general surgeon, and you have the psychiatrist, gynecologist, and internal medicine specialist. So it's well-diverse. So at one point in time, if any victim has a condition, you must have somebody whose area may be able to deal with your issue. But they sit together to discuss.
I just want to mention that we don't have a dedicated phone line for the medical board, because as far as the Reparations Commission is concerned, we're using our general lines, because the reason being we have a very, very lean structure, and we have basically one victim support officer. So the problem is, if you just publish that particular person's number, it will really be difficult for the person to work, because you can imagine the entire country will be bombarding with calls. So as a result, we're just using our general lines, of which, we can then refer the person to the victim support officer to make these arrangements. Again, for victims that also have some relationship with the AVLO, that's the victim-led organization, they can also reach out to AVLO. We work closely with AVLO, who can also facilitate that. I think that is, key, as I just want to put out there, because that's the reason why we don't issuing a direct communication line, because it will be a problem.
Is that even sufficient, like one victim support officer?
It's not.
for 100 over
No,
109 victims.
It's not.
Yeah.
No, but I think, as he said, we work with AVLO. AVLO is very instrumental, all victim-led organizations. So they were the one, in fact, doing bulk of the work when it comes to victim going to the seek attention at the medical. They did a wonderful job before we came. And we're still partnering with them and we're still working with them. So they also support in that line. If they realize that a victim so-and-so in another part of the country need assistance, we welcome. But I just want to tell you, reparations has taken all measures. I personally, when the board has stopped its operation because they want to do the transition. And of course, if you want to do the transition, you cannot spend the fund. And if you don't spend the fund, the board cannot sit because you need to pay them, and also you need to provide medication for the victim. And that will lead to the temporarily stop of the medical board service. But I continue to see the victims every day, and there's no restrictions. And I've seen a lot of victims. And even today, somebody called me, I made an appointment. That is alongside what medical board does, because I'm a commission member, but I happen to be a doctor. So if people need my service, just like any other ordinary patient, I can still also provide that service. And then that's a daily basis. I provide that one. Just to tell you that the commission is so concerned about the victims, their health, and their reparation in general.
So still on the money, I'm particular about the funds. The $8 million says that is been allocated. Does that include the payment of the staff of the board, or it's just for medical expenses of the victims?
It's basically the fund, like the 8 million was the seed money. As I said, what we inherited is less than the 8 million.
8 million, yes.
But that is used to pay, obviously, the sitting allowances together with the medication, the board members and the medication. So the expectation is when these funds runs out, and we have funds in the basket for the victims, because given that it is for the victims, probably the commissioners can meet to do a sort of a replenishment of that account to ensure that there are funds in it. Because what we have as far as the reparations fund is concerned, anything that goes into that account goes to the benefit to the victims. Any single dollar leaving that account goes to the victims. So as a result, if the funds for the board dries out, we can just replenish using that fund. You understand? So that it's not going to be used for operational matters. No, it's purely for the benefit of the victims.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad that is made clear.
Yes, that is very clear.
Because less than 8 million, it's not much for medical people.
It's also for
health
compensation.
Is expensive.
It's for the medical service.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Purely
So,
medical
gentlemen, thank you very much. We've exhausted this time already.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dafe and Mr. Coker, for coming on the program. And I hope victims will get what they deserve as far as medical is concerned. Yes, thank you. From having that conversation with the Reparation Commission team as they resume the medical board for service for victims. Now let's head to the Federation of Labor Unions lunch. We have Omar Cisse, interim president, Federation of Labor Union of the Gambia, and Momodu Baka Den. Is it Den?
Dem.
Dem. They made a mistake. It should be Dem, not Den. Youth and Combination Officer. Is it that? That's your...
Combination officer, youth and combination officer.
Communications officer.
Yeah.
So that needs to be rectified as well.
Right.
You know, when we talk about labor, when we talk about unions, I mean, people feel very interested. So we will first allow our guests to say hello. Yes. Mr.
President.
Mr. President.
Now you are the president.
With capital P.
P, yeah. Deka bi ñaari nit ñoko nekk di ron. President Barrow ak President Cissé. Wow, deka bi that's true. Lolu moy deka bi.
It's all correct.
Without transport deka bi du dem. Without President Barrow
without workers.
Fonds yi du ñëw. Wow, so loolu la de. Yàlla moo ko def. So it's good to
no ko xamee bëgg naa nga xamee ko noonu.
Yeah, so how are you?
My brother Ibrahim, thank you so much for this noble invitation. And my friend, my sister, it's a pleasure to be here again as the president of the Federation of the Labor Unions of the Gambia.
Okay, all right. So we also have Mr. Dem. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Balde. Alam yara ko sam tawad. It's good to be here. I am Mamadou Bakadem, working with the Gambia Teachers Union, but also the interim communications
Where's
officer.
Martin Gomez? Is there?
No, Martin left.
You didn't meet Martin there?
We now have Ismail Assise.
Okay. He's wearing 2 caps now because before, whenever you see him, it's about teacher matters. But now he's wearing a different cap.
So why was this federation launched, Mr. Sise?
Thank you so much. The federation, the purpose of the federation is to have a unified voice of the workers across the length and breadth of the country. We have a very instrumental union in this country, like, as you say, teachers union, we all know them, press union and other unions. But they are all working in different, workplaces. But it's an international standard and also it's a very best practice to bring them together as a one umbrella.
Yeah.
So that in terms of policy, advocacy, workers' rights, and other things. This initiative was in Gambia in 2017, but unfortunately, we launched it, but didn't go well the way we wanted.
Okay.
Today, if you ask people which organization stands for workers in this country from different backgrounds, it will be difficult. If you see Mr. Sise, you go directly to transportation.
Transport, yeah.
You see Ismail Sise, you go directly to teachers. But to have a federation who will stand for all workers, including yourself, some guy who is watching us, that's his role of federation. So we, in past six months, we are discussing on this to do the mapping in the Gambia to see where are the unions who represent the workers. Because anywhere federation come in, does it mean that I need to form a federation? The union need to come together, form a federation. Individual cannot form a federation. So registered organizations, unions, will come together as a T unions, form a federation. So we do a mapping. So we, during the mapping, we map 8 unions, so 7 unions for now, as the founding fathers of this federation. Gambia Teachers Union, we all know them. Gambia Press Union, General Transport Union, Dock Workers and Maritime Union, Gambia Farmers Union, Gambia National Bakers Union, and National Farmers Union, Tailors Union. So we form this federation as a Federation of the Labor Unions, and it's fully registered with the AG Chambers, gazetted. So now we do a launching on the 14th. Launched by Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry, Integration and Employment, Mort Kesisa. And also, we invite our international partners from across the world, like ITG Africa, Solidarity Center, OTUA, PSI, and other organizations. And also we invite, civil society organizations like Mali Jobati, Mar Nyang, and one of our brother, Babukar Nyang, from the acting director of climate change of Africa, and other partners. We believe this federation will bring the unified body, and also we can engage the government in terms of policies, minimum wages, social protection, you name them, because we all are facing with a different background of work. So we bring it through as a unified body. We have our collective bargaining, share experience, and also in line with the international best practice. We got together, we can do it very easy.
So as the interim president of the Federation of Labor Unions, what are your immediate priorities?
Yes, as even it's beyond interim, because as far as the resolution, the Congress gives us mandate, it's not anymore interim, based on the international best practice and the labor standards.
Okay.
So our priority is number one about the to engage the stakeholders, not only government. These are beyond government, because today you have many workers in the QTV here who maybe one way they have some issues they want to discuss with their unions.
True.
And maybe they can have some of the labor issues in terms of social justice, minimum wages, some of things. And also we in Gambia, we all know minimum wages is a concern for all of us today.
It is.
So these are things we need to engage with the stakeholders and try to have a best, policies to represent the workers. Because this country today, we are celebrating, developments. But this development cannot be achieved without the absence of workers. But what is their take home? What is their social justices? What is their, social protections? So these are lapses. But through the federation, we can enjoy the government through New Labour Act, so that we can come in with very good policies, so that all, policies government will design, the workers' voice will be heard, will be included for their well-being and welfare. So these are our priorities.
Okay.
So, and also we will do the mapping, engage other stakeholders, other areas where we feel they don't have a strong unions, so that we can bring the workers together as association to form a union. Because federation cannot deal with one person, cannot deal with association, we will deal with unions, so that we can have unified voice and have our, bargaining. Like, let me take an example from press union today.
Yeah.
We all know you're in standard within you and list of, informations. If the federation was here before, through this, we can engage with the press union. We have idea about whole issues. So through the federation, we will engage the government as federation, so that we can, in the level playing ground, so that we can try to, sanitize the situation.
It's like it's a more powerful
powerful voice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can engage. If you feel the government is not doing right, based on the legal, matters, legal procedures, we inform the government. This is supposed to do, and this is the way.
Okay.
So I think government will have the federal than the individual unions.
Okay.
So if it's necessarily, we feel federation, the government or whosoever is involved want to use extreme power against the worker or the union, the federation can, quick action to what they call industrial action. No, I don't think we will agree there.
Okay.
For example, today we feel the farmers union, they are having some issues. The employer or the government don't want to listen to them. We engage and they don't want to listen to us. So that will lead another actions
from all the unions.
For all the unions.
Okay.
So that each union or each worker right will be protected, because they have right. They have social justice and whatsoever. But this was challenging. But it's a very challengeable journey. But we believe through the executive we have, I think we are very
I think
so. Mr.
This is what
exactly.
the people of this country needed.
Yeah.
It is not something new that you've been hearing. A lot of people complaining about exploitation at work. So having people to stand for them, I think this is a notable initiative.
Exactly. So, Mr. Dem, what are as the communications and youth officer, what are some of the communication strategies that you're coming up with to ensure that the members are informed, but also engaged, especially young people?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I will start with the young people, because the union survival depends on the young people, right, that we have. In one of the meetings, I did state that here we have the old and experienced people in our unions, but it also, the energy of the young people is needed to move the unions forward. So what we are envisioning is the fact that we want other unions to enhance the voice of their young members in the leadership of the unions. A practical example is what happened at the level of the Gambia Teachers Union. When we looked at the operations of the union, you look at 60% of the membership are young people. So we decided to create a platform we call the Gambia Teachers Union Young Teachers Platform, to ensure that we have young people on board to take up leadership responsibilities. And that is what we want to reflect in other unions, so that the young people are brought on board, so that when we advocate for workers' rights, when we advocate for the welfare of members, they are not left behind. So basically we are trying to ensure that every young person in the unions that are involved in the federation are taking up responsibility, and the leadership of the unions are giving them that space. Because yes, the experience is important, but the energy that the young people bring on board is also important for the survival of the unions. But we know we are starting. It's just last week that we launched the federation. Currently, we have the secretariat at the Gambia Teachers Union. We are looking forward to having the secretariat established in the 3-year mandate that is given to the executive, so that they would move out of the union. But before then, we have a lot of sensitization, we have a lot of awareness to raise to ensure that members are aware of what the federation really stands for. Like he said, bringing those federations together is to ensure that we have that unified voice in the workers, because it looks worrisome sometimes when one union speaks and the others would sit behind and say, "Need better work." These people like make it so much noise.
We hear that all the time.
Yeah. So maybe, for instance, when the Gambia Transport Union would say, "Okay, we want to increase prices," and then the journalist somewhere would say,
"The most problematic union in the country."
But when we come together under this platform, we say our experiences, our challenges. Then we speak together, stand in solidarity. We will be able to address some of the issues. So we have a lot of work to do, of course. Our presence in the regions too is very important. So we are looking at a way to ensure that our media presence is very enhanced, so that even the farmer in Dongoraba would understand that there is a federation that is going to speak for us when we have our issues with maybe our ground, or when we are going to sell them. So we are going to utilize our media presence, including going to as far as community radios, to speak to them in the languages that they understand. But also we are looking at a point where we would enhance our social media presence too, because it is not only about the Gambia, but we also want international recognition to ensure that the international world, the international trade unions also understand that there is a federation in the country that is doing this for workers in the Gambia. Because for far too long we have been speaking in isolation. Gambia Teachers Union would speak for educators, and then the journalists would say teachers them jangale. A transport union would say we are not going to work, and then the teachers will say, okay, it is their business, we are only concerned about this. So we want to enhance that credibility in the unions, enhance that solidarity, so that whatever affects the farmer, it reflects in the voice of the press union. But when the teachers are also complaining, it reflects in the voice of the tailors. And then when the bakers would say, okay, I think there is a need to increase the price of bread, the teacher would not say, no, there is no need, because we would have understand the concerns that they are putting forward. So basically that is what we are doing for them.
Let's talk about the employee also have a right, and you're standing for them, representing them. So what about the employer?
No, the Federation of Labor Unions didn't represent the employer. You know, and in the ILO, standard is you have three, what they call tripartite. You have government, employer, and employee. I think Gambia employer is represented by the GCCI, what I understood. But anywhere, in any ILO, meetings, these three parties need to go together from different, backgrounds. So for the federation, represent only the worker. Today, let me give you a simple example. Like by the upcoming few days, we will celebrate the May Day. May Day stands for workers. It's not a sport day. It's not about the only sporting aspect.
Yeah, but now the purpose is dead.
People because now what I understand, people go to put their trial suits. But if those person even exactly he didn't the employer at that time didn't meet his need.
Exactly.
But he will go out, celebrate, he's happy. But it's not happy. The May Day in the international best practices is workers need to organize themselves. Through government will come in the financial aspect and hear from the workers. What is their achievement for past 1 year? What is their constraints and what they need government to do or employers to do for them? But Gambia, that's not the case now. People go to Macarthur or Independence Stadium, casing, dancing here and there. That's the end of it.
In fact, you never know. They don't even know why they are there.
Yeah, I understand. In fact, that even the Workers' Day will organized by the Ministry of Youth and Sport on the National Sport Council. So this is the objective of the day is already moved on the sport aspect now.
Yeah.
But what I understand, the Labour Day need to be organized by the workers in collaboration with the Gambia Labour Department, with consultation with the Ministry of Trade as far as Labour is concerned. But that's not the case. These are things Federation will work on it now. Because we need to rectify those issues so that the Brahma Balde sitting here, his voice will be heard. What is the concern he's been facing? What is his observation or the recommendations? So that government can take into that policy making and also have a social justice in terms of social economic status quo.
Absolutely.
But this is the main goal of this federation. We are not working as we transport, we are as a workers. No, we are all workers. Even in fact, even civil servants, it's necessity, it's important to form their federation unions.
Yes.
So that because they are facing challenges, they are facing constraints, but they cannot speak out. Who will speak for them? So these are all recommended, and also to try to Gambia government to try to rectify some of the international conventions, like C90, social harassments, child labor, you name them. These are all pending issues. We are not, and also government also try to do the necessary in terms of contribution of the ILO annual fees, so that our voice can be heard at ILO level.
Exactly.
These are things.
President Cisse. So how do people put their concerns to the labor union?
Communication channel.
How do we?
People.
Each of these unions are represented at the level of the federation. So basically, whatever concerns the employee, you channel those ones through the union that is representing you. Because at the level of the executive, we have he is the president as. From the General Transport Union as the president, the vice president one is from the press union. Okay. So the expectation is that the challenges that are affecting the employees at their workplaces are channeled through their representative, their union representatives. But we are looking at a way too that when we expand, we are going to the regions too, where we would have a secretariat. We would have a secretariat, of course, right now, like I said, housed at the Gambia Teachers Union. But when we expand to the regions also, to ensure that employees at the regions are able to walk to the secretariats that we would establish in the regions, to speak to them, to put forward their concerns. But for now, each of the concerns that the members would have can be channeled through the unions that are representing them, and then those concerns will be brought forward to the secretariat, and then the leadership will take that up to ensure that some of those issues are addressed.
So subscription fees, we know that unions, like every member pays a subscription fee to the particular union. Now, how is it going to be? Is it going to change? Are members required to pay subscription fee to the federation as well?
No, basically, per the constitution, you're paying your subscription fee to your union. But your union is also going to pay a subscription fee to the federation. So the member is only subscribing to the union. Like he said earlier on, we are not dealing with individual members. We are dealing with unions. So it is the unions that would subscribe to the federation, not individual members.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's important. I mean, this is really a good. When did you people come up with this idea? I mean, when did it start?
Idea was here since 2017.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but was it's already been we unions come together try to form this, but things doesn't go well the way we want it. So most of this union relax. Okay. But the past 6 months we engage ourselves again. We cannot sit like nothing happened. We need to come together, have one unified body, to know each other and to share our experience. So that is how we start this initiative. We have been discussing it for the past 6 months.
Okay.
Maybe we are not coming out. We draft a constitution. We register with the AGHMS as a legal entity. We also collaborate with international. Today ILO is aware of this federation. IT Africa is is aware of this federation. All the international bodies. Even during the Congress, we received over 15 delegates from internationally who present during the Congress. So CID will goodwill message to the members and committed themselves to work with us and so that we can standardize the labor, environment within the Gambia.
So labor environment. Speaking of that, we know that your union, in particular, it's working in the informal sector. It's not formalized, and we know that if you are in the informal sector, a lot of these things do not apply to you, like payment, like contracts, and all of that. As part of the federation, are you also going to address issues like that?
No, I think that is that is before, but the new Labour Act, that is clearly stated there. Yes. Each employee, whether you are informal or F4, you need to be employed. It's clearly stated in the new Labour Act. You remember,
it's not been adhered
yes,
to.
Remember I said
it's on paper, but it's not been.
Remember I said this a few months ago. People think we don't know what we are doing. It's clearly stated in the Labour Act. At the same time, we have the Labour Act, but something is missing. That's the labor regulations. Regulation back the act.
Yes.
Already, government is establishing what they call international council to deal with some issues. So that's the right time they will come with the regulation. Each farmer or each tailor that particular case will be fully in align. Right. So that council need to be represented by different stakeholders like the employer, the government, and the employee. So that council will come with the regulations. Already the government make a nomination from the different unions No, I think federation will be there so that they can represent all the workers. So that will standardize. Because today, in the press industry, I'm not a press officer, but we are all Gambians.
Yeah.
Some journalists are working without a salary,
Exactly.
without employment.
Oh, yes.
So that is not fair.
Oh, yes.
So you are doing business, expect something in return.
Exactly.
But the guy who is working for you is not receiving salary, is not receiving any injury compensation. Or
Even
any
social security.
Social
That is a
security.
big challenge, Omar. I
But
think you people should really
so
focus
this
on
is, you know,
social
So
security.
that's why we are calling each and every to come on board. And this is not about the, Mr. Demdi or Omar. It's about we as a team. So we are here as the leader, but we have a technician from different backgrounds. We work with the Ministry of Trade. We work with the Ministry of the Government Labour Department and each of your ministries and the institution involved in your workers, so that we can have a very strategic and detailed regulation, so that each and everyone can see yourself as I'm doing something by getting return.
Thank you very much, President Cisse, for coming, and of course, Mr. Dem as well. We will also join. We will be part of it.
You are part of it already.
We are already
part
part
of
of
it.
it. Yeah,
You should go to the Gambia Press Union.
We are part
all
of
the
it already.
journalists.
Yeah, because your president, my able sister,
Etc.
I said is our first vice president.
Oh, okay, okay. That's
He's supposed to be
wow.
here today, but because of busy schedule, he
Wow,
couldn't make it.
wow, that's lovely. Yeah, so viewers, this is all we have, Jule, and of course we'll be back here tomorrow again.
Inshallah,
Yes.
for another edition of QTV this
Until
morning.
then, bye-bye.